Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on our Senior Leader Call. We're pretty excited about our call today. We've actually got lots of calls planned. It's January. We have been looking forward to this day for a long time of Heritage Makers actually transitioning into the longevity back office and just really merging these, the compensation plan over and just getting on with things. It'll be great to get the unknown into a place of here's what we have and here's how we can work the business. And you'll have a lot of these types of calls that will help you along the way. So this call today is for senior leaders only, and we are recording it. So we'll pass it out to all the senior leaders who haven't attended, and possibly even make it available to our leadership and those that are applicable, that would be interested in it, but we'll review it after and see how that goes. No better person to do this call than your upline, Keith Halls. He has been in the industry for so long. Keith, I actually don't know how long you have been in the industry. I know you started in corporate, but how long have you been in the direct sales industry?
I've been in since 1984.
Wow. That's awesome. So a lot of experience here, and as your upline, who better? And when he was in corporate, he was in the accounting end of it, so he really understands compensation plans. So as we transition over, there's been a lot of talk about how's this going to work with, Heritage Makers plan is different than the longevity plan. This is going to be a great training for you to really understand what longevity is about and how to use the compensation plan to just build smart and to build a very successful business. So I know you have a lot planned, so I'm going to turn it over to you. You've got control of the screen, so take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Patty. That was very kind, your introduction. And I, like you, am very, very excited because actually yesterday, but we're starting a new phase in the entire integration of the two companies. And just like with any phase when you come into, there's a lot of new things, and there's going to be a lot of new excitement. If you were on the call yesterday, good heavens, that was such a great call because you heard about new products, you heard about new ideas, new things coming for the new year. But for all the members, of course, of Heritage, one of the great things also is we're going to be entering into a new compensation plan. Now, there's a lot of different ways that I could approach what I'm going to be talking about today. One of the first things I also want to say is there's no way that I could possibly answer everything. I'm going to do my very best to take care of what I would call the vast majority of the questions. But to start the call, I'm actually going to go back in time. And the time I'm going to go back to was April of this year. And I don't remember the exact day. I remember it was, very, very close to the very 1st of April. And I was talking with a good friend of mine, whom many of you know, Tom Chanel. And I said, Tom, help me. Help me with this compensation plan. Because with every compensation plan, I've learned that it takes time. And I don't care if you've been in the industry like I had. I mean, here I've been in the industry for 29 years, and yet I went to Tom and I said, Tom, teach me, please. And so Tom did something that was really unique, and so I'm going to go ahead, but it worked quite well. So I'm going to go ahead and talk with each and every one of you, kind of how Tom talked with me that very first day. The first thing that I want to say into the transition, before we even get into the transition, I want to go back over with each and every one of you the basics of the compensation plan of longevity. And I don't mean to insult you by doing that because I know that you guys are leaders. I know that you probably have this memorized, but believe you me, there'll come a month or something like that, and you'll wish that you can almost go back in time and relook at some of these screens. As I said, some of these things, but these are going to be rather basic. as you know, as you bring people in, it's a three-step process. And what I've noticed over the last few months since we started the first phase of integration, in the sponsoring mode, many people, when they were signing up new distributors or people like that, they felt as long as they did step number one or had somebody place a $10 distributor fee, that they had accomplished everything they needed to. And what they probably all found out was they didn't. It's a three-step process. Remember, make sure that they sign up as a distributor, which costs an additional $10, but if they make a lot more than that in the different things they're going to receive. Second thing, make sure that you always get an initial order. Number three, make sure that you always place that person on a monthly auto ship. And we're going to be getting used to new vocabulary terms. To the best of my probably feeling and knowledge and everything, I honestly believe that auto ship is almost the exact same thing as club. The only big difference that I could see between the auto ship of longevity and the club is historically with club, somebody had to be on for a certain amount of time. With longevity, they don't have to sign up for a 3-month, 5-month, or 1-month commitment. But what you will see is most of your people will stay with you. Second way to sponsor, of course, as many of you have learned, is with the CEO packs. And with CEO packs, you always need to make sure there's a default in the back office. When you enroll someone with a $500 CEO pack, there is a default for an auto ship. But I always make sure as I'm enrolling someone, that default auto ship is clicked yes, so that when you sign up that new person with the CEO pack, their auto ship is in place. They don't need to do the extra $10. That's already included in the price of the kit. As many of you know, on the next floor, on how you get paid, you get the fast start, you get the quick start. The fast start is $100, the quick start, as you all know, it's going to vary just a little bit. I usually say it's approximately $30 when I'm doing a plan. And then the next two, when I'm talking with a person, I just say the next two are very important because it's a coded bonus, and this coded bonus is very powerful because longevity will pay out $190 on each and every CEO pack that's sold. The only question is who receives that $190. So for the first is the person who's the direct enroller. You look, you see what their ranks are, and whatever that rank would be, that's how much the direct enroller gets paid. If there's any difference between 190 and what the direct enroller received, then it rolls straight up line to the next member in the upline who's at least one level higher. Now, to reach SEMD, SEMD, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is it's the key. It's the key that unlocks everything in our compensation plan. There's 4 steps for that SEMD, and I can promise you that I've left out step number 3, and on 2 different months. I didn't do it on purpose, I can promise you, because it cost me a lot of money when I left it out. But step number 1 is you need to have either your personal order or your personal auto ship at 250 on your top position. Number 2, you need to have enrolled at least 3 people who, if it's their first month, needs to be a $150 QV order, or if it's their second month, it needs to be an auto ship of at least 150. Now, number 3 is where so many people get what they call or what I've called, oh, dadgummit, I got caught, because on number 3, people sometimes don't get the 3 people underneath the 3 people in number 2. So to repeat it, you need 3 people at 150, and underneath those 3 at 150, you need 3 people at 50. Now that's going to become very important for our conversation in just a minute, so please remember that. The 4th and final step is you need to have $5,400 in qualifying volume. And to what levels can you use for qualifying volume? It's easy. It's levels 1, 2, and 3, as well as your personal orders for that month. Those are the ones that you can use to reach that 5,400. The 5,400 is to reach that SEMD is so important, because once a person reaches SEMD, then the entire compensation plan is unlocked for them. Let me just remind you here that to receive certain things, such as the car bonus, there are extra steps that a person needs to take. For example, for the car bonus, you need to make sure that you have sponsored at least 12 different people who are on either A, an initial month, or B, auto ship month of $100 of qualifying volume to be able to qualify for the car bonus. Next, we have the stock options, and it's a lot of fun. I mean, I got in the mail, I think it was the first day after Christmas, the stock option for senior vice chairman. And when that thing came in the mail for 50,000 shares, I looked at it, I thought, oh my goodness, this company is the greatest company in the entire world. Now, I apologize, I didn't realize that I had kept these 2 slides together. But so I will come back to this in just a minute. But what this does do is it shows you, at least in the very beginning, if you reach SEMD, how much you will be paid on a monthly basis for the people in your downline. On level 1, you earn 8%, level 2, 8%, going downward, it's level 3 is 7, level 4 and 5 are both 6, level 6 is 8, and then levels 7, 8, and 9 are 2%. One thing that's very, very big, and I didn't realize is, and I was talking with Tom Chanel today, is having people on your 11th, 12th, and 15th, and 20th levels and still getting paid 2%. Those 2% add up, so never overlook them. Now, what I have just done, I put into a screen format for you, basically to show you this is what it takes to become an SEMD. The only thing that I did not include with this is the fact that you also need the 5,400 in qualifying volume in those first 3 levels. If you want to move upwards, and I know that each and every one of you do, how do you do it? And there's been quite a few questions, and the reason I keep bringing this back up is because I continue to get questions. So what I've done is I've made 3 different legs in this chart right here. You have to forgive me, because if I put 50 below all those 150s, the chart would have just blown out. To become vice presidential, you need 3 separate legs that have at least one person in that leg who is an SEMD. It does not have to be that very top level. I have levels where the person on my top level is not SEMD. It's the person maybe on the 2nd or 3rd level, and that's fine. It doesn't matter where they appear as long as you have one in that level. So to become vice presidential and above, the only question then you're moving into is, how many different levels of SEMDs that you need in order to qualify, and the other is how much additional volume. This slide right here, along with this slide right here, I can tell you if I had taken a snapshot and made sure every month along the way that my 150s, even though they were signed up for auto ship, that they didn't drop out or anything like that, and the same thing with my 50s. Now, I'm going to skip forward. I'm going to talk to you about the plan that's in place, and it's an incredibly great plan, the 20% direct pay. Why did the company do this? Well, there's a lot of conversation, as you can imagine, that went back and forth, and I know that Patty and Britt were among others who spent countless and countless hours trying to determine a way so that the vast majority of the people would come in this stage of the transition. When they come over, they're going to be approximately around the break even. In other words, maybe you may lose a few dollars or make a few dollars. The vast majority, though, are right there at break even. How did that happen? Well, it was a great thing and a great plan, the direct pay plan. What direct pay plan does is, as it states on number 4, it's a plan that will allow you to continue to earn 20% on all of your people on level 1. 20% on level 1. You cannot earn 20% on your people on level 2. Now, the next qualifier is simply this. This is what I would call a grandfathered plan. And the reason I say that is a person needs to already have been signed up in order to qualify inside the direct pay plan. If you enroll someone today, instead of receiving 20% on that top level, you will receive, according to the longevity compensation plan, 8% on your top level. All I can tell you guys is they're both great, and they both have different things about them that are just incredibly great. I've looked at, and I'm very, very excited because as you now start to sponsor people, they're going to be able to use the plan of longevity, which has helped many, many people to become financially free for over the last 17 years of the company. Now, I want to take a $100 or a gold club membership and kind of follow through what would happen in this situation. How much, in other words, would you be paid out? There's 2 or 3 different things, and there's different terminologies that you need to understand. First of all, there's a terminology, and you're going to see the 2 letters called QV. Now, QV is very, very important because QV stands for the amount of volume that you need to have on any or in any situation to qualify. So QV, qualifying volume, that's what allows you to qualify and to rank advance. BV is incredibly important for each and every one of you. Why? BV, bonus volume, is what you get paid. So if you have a person who's on level 1, the BV will be adjusted. The normal BV for everybody signing up from today going forward is 72% on what they spend. They spend $100, the BV is 72%. On direct pay, it is reduced to 48%. Why? It's simple. If you look at level 1, if you look at them, think of your people who you have on your front level, you're going to be paid 20%, which equals to $20. That's a lot of money. You don't want to lose that. There's a lot of people who contact me saying, I can't wait to be able to move some of my people around. And I sit there and I think, well, wait a minute. Why would you want to move somebody away from level number 1, where you're being paid $20, down to level number 2 or to level number 3? And the answer is simply this. I just went over this for a second ago. Should you move people from one level to the next? Overwhelmingly, for the vast majority of the time, I would probably tell you the answer is no. Don't move anyone. You're going to go into your back office and you're going to see a lot of people on level 1. And you have the ability for the next 60 days, I believe it is, just like it is in longevity, for the next 60 days, you could move that person to level 2 or level 3. But the minute you move that person, remember, you or that person will no longer be qualified under the 20% direct pay. So in other words, you will not receive that $20 amount if you move someone on level 1 down to level 2 or level 3. Why? Why should anybody move even one person? And there are a couple of reasons, but overwhelmingly, in my mind, there's really only about one reason anybody at any time should move anybody. And that's for where I put in bold for rank advancement only. If you're looking at in your back office, and hopefully each and every one of you had a chance to now go in, I hope I understand correctly. Your password is the exact same as it was under Heritage. Go in and look through the back office, look at your team. You will also notice that you have the ability to move someone from level 1 to level 2 or 3. But remember, the minute you do, your pay goes down. The only reason is that I can think of, since most of these people on level 1, you want them at 150 or at 250 on their auto ship, so that they can qualify for one of your, hopefully, leaders. The only big reason I can think of is if on level 2, let me go back, on level 1 is 150, level 2 is 50. If for any reason you are missing some 50s beneath those 150s, and then I'm going to put and I put and in great big letters, and it makes a difference between whether you can qualify for one rank to another. For example, if you put in, or if you move 2 people from your front level down to your second level, underneath 1 or 2 or 3 people, wherever it may be, if you move them, and it will allow you to qualify and rank for a higher level, whether it's vice presidential or presidential. In that case, it does make sense. But I want you to also look at the amount, the dollar amount that you'd be thinking about. Most of your moves will be for $50 and nothing else. You want to keep that volume as close as you can to you. Why? If you remember, in the qualifications that we have, you need to have people, whether it's SEMD, vice presidential, presidential, whatever rank it must be, you must have a certain amount of qualifying volume within levels number 1, 2, and 3. If you And you need to make sure that people in your downline, I've received, I don't know, quite a few texts already today, I don't know the exact number, of people saying, you know, I can do some reorganizing, I can do something like that. The answer is, no, you can not really. All you can really do is move somebody from level 1 down to level 2 or 3. And remember, by doing that, not only does that person then get locked into where you never would get paid, the direct pay on them. If you move someone down to level number 3, or if you move someone down to level number 4 even, and that once that volume decreases, or in other words, once that person gets pushed downward, for example, if you put someone on level 3 and that leader on level number 2 has changed from because of someone on level 1, it's going to kick everything outside of your qualifying volume. So overwhelmingly, the answer, oops, went too far. Just a second. My screen's frozen. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. So that's why, once again, I said overwhelmingly, do not do that. Another thing I'm telling a lot of people is, you know, people in your downline may start calling you saying, hey, I see that I can rearrange my team. And you say, just need to tell them, yes, you can, but the minute you do, your check's going to go down. You don't want that volume to be changed and moved anywhere within your team. Do your very, very best to keep it where it is. Now, as a leader for a test, if I were in your position and I were tempted to move some volume today, let's say from level 1 to level 2, or even to level 3, before you make that move, I would contact someone in your upline who's at least one level, if not 2 levels higher than you, and just go, you know, Jane Doe, I have a question or a comment. I'm going to be moving someone. Let me show you. You're my upline. Tell me, what do you think? Or if you're talking with your upline, or if you're helping people on your downline. And it's the reason I would say to ask someone before you do it. It's another mind rethinking. Is this going to make good sense for me? Is this going to be the very, very best thing, not only for myself, but for my team? And again, overwhelmingly, I can tell you the very, very best thing is to keep things as they are, if and only if you need them for a rank advancement. I put this up because I want to reinforce, and I meant for this to be earlier, I apologize. In longevity, you have the ability with a car bonus, and many, many people sometimes think that all they have to do is to reach a certain level and the car bonus is in place. It's not. You've got to make sure that you have 12 people that you sponsor at $100 and that are active. The next thing you need to make sure of is that for the stock options, for example, if you were an SEMD, you have the ability to earn 1,000 stock options. Now, the thing that's very, very important is you must keep and maintain that level for 3 consecutive months in order to earn those stock options. So, for example, in the month of January and in the month of February, if you were at the rank of SEMD, but then in the month of March, if you drop down 1 level, you would have to start over all over again to get 3 consecutive months in order to move or to receive stock options. The best way to assure that you won't have to have that kind of a situation is by, when we talked about at the very beginning, making sure that every time you sponsor a person, that you also get them on auto ship. Let me see. Keep clicking on this, and I apologize. No, it keeps throwing me back out. I have, now, the next thing that when I'm out and when people ask me, how do I make SEMD? It seems like it'd be very, very hard, and I always tell people is simply this: it's not. If on your front level you sponsor 3 people at 150, and if you help those 3 people that you sponsor today sponsor 3 during the next week or during the next month at 150, that would mean you would have 9 people at 150 on level 2. And if you help those 9 people also bring in 3, you would have 27 people on level number 3. So if you add 3 from level 1 to 9 from level 2 to 27 from level 3, you would have 39 people at 150, and at that time, if you multiply that out, that's over 5,500. We, in the last few months, you've heard a lot of leaders that are very, very exciting. They're moving out, and the way to keep that, though, is to make sure that your people are always on auto ship. The direct pay plan, again, is to help each and every one of you for the time, the energy that you have spent over the last 5, 6, 7, or even if it's only been 1 year, but it's to allow you to continue to earn that benefit of being paid 20% on that front level. But remember, the minute you move them, you lose that. Now, with that, I will turn the time back to Patty.
Perfect. Thank you. I received lots of comments throughout the call, and they love it. And this has been recorded, and we'll get it edited so that we can send it out to leaders. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.